welcome to the last of the series for the 2013 of my interview series, Finding Balance, from the boardroom to the dining room. And today's guest is the perfect way to wrap up this series of the 12 fascinating women that I've spoken to. Today's guest is a good friend of mine. Her name is Dr. Jaime Kulaga. I want to make sure I pronounce that right, so I got approval on it. And Jaime is a certified life coach, licensed mental health counselor, and motivational speaker. She's published research in her field and continues to teach at the college level. She has a passion for life and helping people live their best life. She focuses on accountability and the power of positive thinking to propel you forward. And I'm reading that off the back of her brand new Type S Superwoman book, which I just got my hands on and officially signed from a book signing we did the other day. And I am very honored to have you here today. So thank you very much for being here, Jaime.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it.
Awesome. I'm really glad that you're here. And we had some technical difficulties, so we're going to try to give this a whirl and see how it goes. And now we'll have to do it again and kick off the new year. So I have my official champagne glass to give a toast. And you have your smart water? Is that what it was?
I have it, yes, it's filled with a little crystal light in there.
Nice. So, Jaime, I know in your book you talk about your personal story, but telling people who read the book to remember your story. But can you tell us a little bit about your story and how you sort of got to where you are? And everybody can go back and read the book, of course, but love it. You could just tell a couple stories on twists and turns that brought you to where you are today, and also what inspired you to write the book.
I guess it would just be a lot of motivation to be. I kind of have that internal drive to be that 1% of the population. So I keep going. When barriers come at me, that's what I see them at, is just a barrier that I can get around. It's not something that stops me permanently. So I don't make excuses. I see problems. Every day I encounter problems. But my goal is more of, I reframe the situation and how can I work around it. And I think that doing that has opened a lot of doors for me. And when you reframe in a more positive way, you attract positive people. And that's what you need to grow. If you want to advance, if you want to succeed, you have to surround yourself with those types of people. And I did my best to maintain that type of attitude, even in tough situations, so that I could be provided more opportunities.
Nice. And I know you mentioned in the book that it was sort of one of your goals to write the book. And so when did you start wanting to write a book? And was this the book you thought you would always write, or did it evolve?
It definitely evolved. I think one of the most important things to do is you just have a general goal and get it down on paper. 90% of people that write down their goals will reach them. You not say them, write them. So I knew that I wanted to write a book. I didn't know about what. I didn't know if it was going to be a children's book, a Superwoman book. Maybe I was going to go into a field working with, I worked at a prison with inmates. I don't know what the book's going to be about. I just know I want to write a book, and I wrote it down. And then I knew to write a book, I have to have really strong experience in that. I have to bring experience and knowledge into this to be able to help people. The point of the book is to give knowledge to other people. So I started writing my dissertation for my doctoral program, and it evolved with the way that they helped me and the way that I thought it was going to go. Together, it evolved towards a very female-dominated population. It was about women who were abandoned by their fathers. So now I'm not only writing about this, but I'm doing in-depth research that has already been done on women, and I'm doing my own personal research. Okay, great. Now it's going. Now I'm in my practice, and for some reason, women are the ones that are calling me. So now my client base is growing, and I have 2, 3, 4 men, but I have 12, 13, 15 women that I'm coming to see. So now my direct experience is with them in a like my clients, and then I'm learning from them too. You know what I mean? So now I have research, personal research, and direct experience with this population. So from that came the Superwoman workshops, and that's when I knew I have enough content to create this book. And I just did it, and I set a goal, 500 words every 3 days. Okay, one sentence today, and it all adds up, and now you have a book.
And now, so I know. So that's what you set, 500 words a day. And did you find that that was achievable? And did it, I know that we talked a lot during the process, and but how did it flow for you? Did you write 500 in direct order, or did you write the chapters, and was it kind of all over the place and you piece it together?
That is what I did, and I probably wouldn't recommend that to people. I would probably say, but what had happened is, like I said, like when you set the goal, I didn't know what the book was going to be about. I just said I wanted to write a book. Well, when I started writing the book, I wasn't trying to, you know, I just wanted to start it, and there's no perfect moment to start it, and there's no perfect book. It's not perfect, and I write in there that you don't want to try to be perfect, because you probably will never start your book of life, whatever that may be. Maybe you want to do this, maybe you want to do that. You're not going to start it if you're waiting for the perfect moment. So
Right.
I started writing and writing, and then, I had maybe, I don't know, 30 pages, 50 pages of it, and then I went through and I started finding commonalities and said, oh, you know what, this section is really about confidence. Let's create a section on confidence for women. Okay, this section is really about defining goals. So let's take it out, and I pieced it together that way. I'm sure a million people that write books will tell you that that's not the way to do it, but I wanted, right? It's not, but I did it, and it's my life goal, and it's not,
Yeah.
it might not be perfect. It might not be perfect to you or to him or her, but I did it. And that is when you stop comparing yourself to others, when you stop caring so much what other people want, that's when you find fulfillment in life. And I am absolutely fulfilled and so excited about it. And I'm thrilled. And Glamour called me. So put that put that on my notebook there.
That's right. So now, what did you submit for Glamour?
Glamour reached out and they wanted stress tips on how to minimize or avoid stress in women that are in their 20s. And I went ahead and do it. And I honestly, I think stress tips, you can tailor the verbiage to 20 somethings, 30 somethings, 40 somethings, and so on. But across the board, it remains the same, setting boundaries with people, ridding of toxic people, just different things like that. But across the board, it's pretty standard.
Yeah. And so what would you probably most of the viewers for this are a little bit older demographic. How would you tailor? What would be your top 3 tips for stress during the holidays for a little bit older than 20? We won't say what age.
Right. I won't tell. I'm older than that too. So I guess it's really about keeping boundaries, because here's what happens. A lot of people, a lot of women are really good at keeping boundaries all year. Maybe they got a good grip on it, okay? And they've been practicing it. Well, now comes November, December, and it's all about enmeshment. It's all about family. Come over. What else can I take on? Let me give you gifts that you don't deserve, but it's just the gifts, the season of giving, so I'm going to give it to you. Right? But the point is that by doing all these extra things that you normally don't do in that 2-week time frame, you can break boundaries that took 50 weeks to create.
Right.
So it's a matter of just holding it together through the holidays and still keeping those boundaries. You can be polite, you can be nice, you can do things, but my famous slogan here is kindness does not equal doormat. And if you feel that you're being treated or people are taking from you, chances are they're taking from you. So
Yeah.
just to be really cautious, not to confuse kindness and doormat, because once you're a doormat, you have blurred a boundary that is going to take another 50 weeks to hash out.
Right. How can you set those boundaries, or how can you maintain those boundaries? Because I know a lot of times people are very worried about hurting people's feelings, or, as you mentioned in your book, not seeming like a good wife or a good friend. Are there just a couple, phrases that people can use, other than just saying no? But because, we're women and we like to make sure that everybody feels comfortable. But there are a couple things that phrases that you suggest that people can use.
I just think acknowledging to people that you can't take on certain things. Like it's okay to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed with XYZ, and just say no. It's okay to say no. It's not a bad thing. You don't have to say no in a nasty way. You can say it nicely. You can, you know, there's just, you don't, women are just so, when you say no, it just provokes so much guilt. Know that
Right.
most people are okay with no. But I think one of the most major things during the season, and for the next week or two, a lot of us rush to go buy more presents and do things this last week. We're gonna, this next week is really the week of overwhelmment. We're gonna create
Yeah.
that word here, okay, of being
Yeah.
completely overwhelmed.
Well,
Think,
you used enmeshment, which I like.
yeah,
I'm like, I don't know, is
right.
it a real word? I'm
Yeah,
like,
no, no, they're PhD words. I create them, okay? But so okay, but women really need to know. Like I got asked an interview question last night actually, and someone said, "Well, really, is your book about the fact that women need less roles, or is it about management?" Well, it's kind of, women don't need less
question.
roles. I think that you can maintain. Most people can only handle 5 roles. Okay, women normally have about 20. You can have 20 roles. Here's the thing: you have to really understand and know who your top 5 life roles are. So this season, you can give to Aunt Betty, who, you're going to have to drive now to the nearest Publix every day because you blurred that boundary. Like you can, yeah, right? Like you can give to these people, but don't complain to these top 5 people about how overwhelmed you are and how this season is horrible and you don't have money and you don't have time and you're drained. These are the people you give the most presents to. These are the people you give the most love to. These are the people you give the most attention to and you don't complain to. And I think a woman will feel much more confident and secure and less overwhelmed when she knows her top 5 roles are satisfied. And when those are satisfied, you're okay with giving a little less over here because you love these people, but they don't nearly as matter as much as these people do right here. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yep. No, absolutely. Absolutely. So now, and this, I know this is probably a very general question, but maybe I shouldn't even ask it. But who usually fall in those categories in your speaking to different people? Are they friends? Are they a mixture of family, spouses, or do because you need somebody to complain to.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can use your supports right. A lot of time we use these top 5 only to complain to. So we're
Right.
buying gifts for Aunt Betty and we're feeding a turkey meal for Thanksgiving to Aunt Betty and we're talking on the phone with her. Oh yes, everything's blissful and fabulous. And then you come over to the husband who's the one that's always there, who the one, and then all you do is complain to him. And that's all he has now become, is this support, this crutch, and all the other things that matter are lost between that couple. But in regards to the top 5,
But no,
um,
that's a good way to explain it. So you can still they can still be your confidants and they can still be the person that you're saying that you feel overwhelmed, but you have to make sure that you're giving equally to them.
absolutely. And one really great book for the readers that I would suggest is a book by Gary Chapman called The 5 Love Languages. And you learn in the book about the particular love language of your spouse. Maybe they want quality time, maybe physical touch, maybe it's gifts, maybe it's acts of service. There's 5 different types of love languages. And I think it's really important not for you to only know your own love language, but for you to know your spouse's. And that way you can use them as a crutch, but also you've done the physical touch, or, the giving the gifts, or whatever it is that he likes.
Right.
You got to satisfy your top 5 roles. They're not just there for support.
Right. That's a great point. Oh, okay. So where are you? I always ask this question of all my interviews. Where are we in your office now, or where is your office?
I am in an incognito place underground. I cannot,
Right.
no, actually I'm right off Gandy, but whatever. So, yes, we are in South Tampa here in my office right now.
So when you have, because of your one-on-one work, you require a separate office. Do you use that for other work that is not just one-on-one clients? Do you do your paperwork, and did you do your writing there, or did you do that at home?
Actually, I did my writing a little bit of everywhere. I did do it here, especially because I think it's important. Like, even though being a mom is on my top 5 life roles, this was a bucket list of mine. I wanted to achieve this, so I would take time, maybe every week or something. I would take in, a couple hours, and I would sit here and write to be alone. Because even though my kids might give me time, distractions are a huge thing. Maybe they just come in for 1 cup of chocolate milk. Well, that's all in 2 hours. That's fabulous, but still it throws you off. And I think it's really important when a woman wants her own personal time, she's got to give it to her like she's in a meeting. If I was in a meeting with my supervisor, I wouldn't be in my house where my child can ask me for chocolate milk. Like, you have to take time for yourself, and treat it as a meeting and be alone with yourself.
Yeah, and especially, I know, well, a lot of our viewers have their own businesses, and I think that does overlap a lot. Frequently, they'll have offices within their home, and they love it. But to your point, one of the biggest feedback I hear is that if they can't say no to their family. Whereas if they had a job that they went to, where they went to an office every day, they could say, no, I can't, I can't do this, I can't do that, or I can do it at this time. And so that, or I can do it after 5, or I can do it on my lunch break. Whereas if they have a home office, they tend to not be able to say no to that, and then feel like they're kind of giving a little too much of their work time. So I think having that dedicated space is very, very important when
Yeah,
you have
absolutely.
family and small kids at home.
Yep. But even like with this, with small kids, like, if you can really set boundaries with them, like, I even notice when I have to be at home and I have to do something, I'll tell the kiddos, like, and I have a 3 and a 7-year-old, so I understand that they're young and they can't totally be on their own, but I'll put them in a safe place like their room, and maybe I will create like a little picnic for them. I'll put a towel out. They have their little Lunchables. I'm sure that that's not like the best parenting food there, but right, okay.
Right.
But
I hope none of our health counselors
right,
are watching this.
right, right. I know. Oh God, I hope Abigail's not watching right now.
That's
She would
what I
kill
was
me.
thinking of.
So, but no, but the point is just get the kids somewhere safe. And now it can't be for 4 hours, but there's times that I have to take 20-minute calls. I put on some cartoons, they're doing their thing. I know that they're in a safe environment, and I set the boundary with them, like, hey, listen, just give mom 20 minutes, you have everything. And they do, and it's great. And it works out by setting that boundary. But
Yeah.
also, something that I would really want the women to take from this is that a lot of times we have guilt because we don't spend enough time with our child, okay, or our husband, or whatever, husband, child. That's going to be the most important thing where guilt stems from, is the lack of time because we're so busy in the business. Okay, we calculate time in regards to, okay, oh, I didn't spend 4 hours with my child today. You don't have to do that. A child doesn't have to have 4 hours. Give them 20 to 30 minutes, but time only with them. If they want to sit there for 20 minutes and they want to play Thomas the Train, play Thomas the Train for 20 quality minutes. Quality means whatever quality means to them. So it probably means mom doesn't have her cell phone in the room. The computer is not even in the room. Same thing with the husband. A lot of times you have women that go out on, dates, like, put your phone away. You don't have to answer that call. This is his time. If you give him a 30-minute meal of one-on-one time, and that's what he wants, he's satisfied. You're good. You can be guilt-free and go back to work now.
Right.
So I think that's important. It's about giving them time that they feel is efficient and good. Not 4 hours of, let me text, let me email. Oh, yeah, honey. Okay, great.
Yeah.
One-on-one, only them time.
And I see that a lot with, as you said, both with kids and with spouses, but I see it a lot on the, I drive by a playground on a regular basis, and I see the parents, and everyone does it, so it's nobody's fault, but, they're on the playground and the parents are texting and they're on their phones and they're looking at whatever they're looking at on their phones. And I know we all have responsibilities, but, I hear those kids screaming, Mom or Dad, and, to your point, that just give them that time that they need, and then the rest of the time they're good, as long as they feel that they're getting the proper attention. Yeah.
Perfect. Exactly.
Like I said, kids and spouses. I'm gonna definitely say that.
Yes, we cannot forget the spouses. There was a great article that came out, and it was it said it's hard to believe, but you do have to put your spouse before your children. And I am a mom of 2 boys. I get it. It was so hard for me to swallow it, but it was right in saying, you want that spouse there to help you with those children. At some point, those children are going to move on. In no way is it saying pick the spouse and push the children aside. It's more of making sure that the children always don't come first.
Right.
To make sure that your husband is satisfied, and finding out his love language, I would suggest, is going to be, it's a book that I recommend to every single couple that walks in this office, and it's turned around marriages before, so I would recommend that.
I would think even also knowing, you made a point in knowing your spouses, but also knowing yours. I think a lot of time people assume that the other person understands what they want and need, and maybe finding a way that they can verbalize it to their partner is probably just as important as seeing what they need.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. What tips or tools do you have in place that help with your scheduling and helping you to try to find balance between the professional and personal life? So whether that's electronic, whether it's physical people within your home or your business, what kind of gadgets or services do you use that help you?
Okay, you're going to laugh. Hold on here. But as much as we are a technology-based world, it is all right here in this book. And it is a 15-minute increments straight down the line. And I write in my goals because when it is in my phone, I don't see it all day. This thing sits next to me all day. I am reminded every 20 minutes of what my goals are. If some people say, oh, well, you'll get a pop-up like from Google on your phone. Oh, meeting in 15 minutes, or you got to exercise, Jamie, because I do put that on my list.
Right.
And I can just click dismiss or avoid. I can't dismiss this. These never get deleted. And it feels really good to see a list of 30 things that I have to do today and to slowly start checking them off. And it's also a great feeling for me to look at this calendar, and I look at yesterday filled from top to bottom, and every single one of my goals were hit on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it brings a sense of confidence, even though it's small. You want to get as much confidence as you can from every little angle of life, and this is part of it. And this keeps me going.
Yeah. I'm a paper girl too. This is my.
Yay!
I got summer highlighted. Yeah, but but I do use my phone a little bit. But I've always been and I just got a new planner for for the new year. I got a fancy one, but well, I'll show that at a different time. But it's all right. I'll show
Oh,
it.
I love it. Do you have it?
All right. Yeah, but it's branded, and I don't. Well, I can share it. So it's called The Day Designer. It's by
I
Whitney
love it.
English.
That's great. And my thinking behind it is no matter how small, if it excites you to do something that's going to, like, that planner potentially has the ability to make you thousands of dollars.
Right.
It really does. Not forgetting appointments, maybe you write in there, oh, follow up with Jennifer, and then that reminds you to, and then you book a sale. Like that planner could make you a lot of money. And even a client that I just saw before we did this interview, she was talking about how she had just bought a new yoga shirt, and that excites her to then go to class. You know how you feel when you put on new clothes, or right? If it works, do it.
Yep.
So find things that excite you.
I love getting my new planner. Yeah.
I know. I love it. I'm excited for you.
But I love it every year. So every year it's very exciting to start the new year with a fresh book. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Anything at home? Do you have any help around the house? Or the answer could be no, or any assistance at work or virtual assistants or anything?
I would say that just truthfully, my husband is my biggest support. Absolutely, hands down. I don't have an assistant. I want 5 assistants. I probably need 20 assistants. But my husband and I can thankfully say, and we have worked at it, are an awesome team.
Yeah.
And I think that, people say you have children, you have to be a team. Hands down, we all know that. But I think when you own a business, having children or not, you have to be a team. Owning your own business is a roller coaster. One day you feel like you're going to take over the world, and then the next day you feel like you're going out of business. And you need someone that can ride that roller coaster with you. And when you're down, hopefully they're on the up so that they can, they bring you back. And then that's where the teamwork comes in. Yeah. So fabulous. Good. That's what I think.
And okay. So, and where can everybody find you? On how can they reach you on social media or your website? So, and we'll list them in the show notes also. But if they're watching today, where can they find you?
Awesome. If you go to mindfulrehab.com, you can find everything out about me. That's MINDFUL rehab.com. You can find out about me, about my past, what I do, if we'd be a good fit, where you can buy the book. Anything that you want to know is probably going to be right there on the website, and you can also reach me directly from that site.
Nice. And you're also on Facebook, I think, is the main social platform for you, correct?
Yep, absolutely, because the Superwoman workshop has taken flight on Facebook, and so and it's actually great for people to go to, because in the morning we have a morning reminder. It's consistent every morning about having a positive thought, and at the close of the day it's always about listing out things that you are grateful for, and I encourage women to participate in that, because grateful people actually live longer. So
very good to know. Very good to know. And lastly, is there anything coming up that you're excited about, either for the rest of this year or in 2014?
Honestly, I wasn't expecting, I wanted to do my book because it was on my bucket list, and I did hope to help women, but it is taking flight more than I thought. So this is really exciting for me, and I'm going to enjoy this in the moment experience, because who knows if I'm going to write another book? I don't know, okay? I can't think about that. I just have to think about, what I need to do tonight. I can't think of another book. So I am actually going to enjoy this moment. I am enjoying the women that are loving it. I am enjoying some of the media or press, whatever you want to say, on it. And so I'm enjoying this.
That's awesome. Well, very good for you, because that's, lately people have been talking about that. A lot of the coaches, et cetera, that I listen to, talking about trying to stop and be in the moment and appreciate what you have, as opposed to always going to the next big thing. So that is great advice to end on. Thank you very much. I'm glad that we worked through our technical difficulties and we're able to go through with the interview. And I appreciate you being here with me, and happy holidays to you, and I wish you all the best in 2014 even though I know I'll see you probably tomorrow, but but I really appreciate you being here, and I love your book, and make sure everybody go out there and get it. Type S, Superwoman.
Yay, thank
And
you.
thank you everybody for being here and listening to this, and we will see you in the next year. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.